it comes in January, February, March, April, May, and then it stops. Sometimes it doesn't come in a month, not come in 2 months. How I overcame my irregular period.
There's always somebody to tell you that you can't do it. There's always somebody to tell you that you won't make it. There's always somebody that came in your way to bring you down. The world is so selfish, no one gonna lift you off the ground.
But together, we're stronger together. We are not alone. Together, we're stronger together. A win will come home.
What's up, what it is, KS fam? Your girl Savvy is back with a brand new video. In this video, well, basically before I jump into this video on this subject, Ko is not with me because he doesn't have periods to even have an experience with that, to even share it. But yeah, so this video, by the title you can already tell, it's about overcoming my irregular periods. Yeah, so if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like and comment, click that bell to get post notifications every time we post, to be the first to be alert. Now, this video is basically a story time, a testimony story time, or a story time testimony of how I overcame my irregular periods. Now, this wasn't just by myself. I have to give all credits to the man above, God, because if it wasn't for him and his hand upon this situation that I had, I think I probably would have been still in it, you know, but everything happens for a reason. I feel like maybe I was strong enough, or God had built me strong enough to go through this, so I can have, you know, an inspirational story, testimony to share to the ones that's going through this in silence. And you may be going through the irregular periods, or your period just stopped. It can be probably like, there's so many factors of how or why a woman can have irregular periods. I'm just gonna basically share the factors that caused mine, and I might just share a little extra of other factors that can cause it as well. But yeah, so this is for the ones, this is for you if you're going through the same thing, to help you, you know, keep like hoping and to be encouraged enough to stay in faith. If I can do it and I overcame it, you can as well. You know, it's not the end of the world, so don't think that way. And now, like I said, if you're one of the ones that does go through this now, or in the state of it, or in the state of going through it right now, stay tuned and watch, because this will encourage you enough, like I said, to stay in faith. So now let's get into the video. So irregular periods. Irregular periods are basically periods that's not regular. So you can have normal periods, like let's just say it comes in January, February, March, April, May, and then it stops in June. It doesn't come at all. It doesn't, sometimes it doesn't come in a month. It could take, sometimes it could not come in 2 months, and it just skips basically. It's not regular, monthly. I was going through that, but before I entered that struggle, I got my period. When did I get my period? I got my period at the age of 11. Now, for a couple of years after getting my first period at the age of 11, everything was just normal. You know, my periods were coming normal month to month. No problem. Even when I had my periods, I didn't even have like those, you know, those pains that normal like that women usually have when they're on their periods, like headaches, feeling nauseous, cramps. I didn't have, you know, those issues. My period just came and then it left. It came and then it left. It came and then it went smooth every time it came. Now I had cousins and friends at the, like, you know, that would always you know, complain about how, you know, they have bad headaches, bad cramps. I would just hear it, but I didn't go through that to even share, you know, an experience like that to them. So I would just hear them and then I would just be like, wow, that sounds so bad. But yeah, so it would come and it would go normal, no pain, no nothing. But it started getting irregular. I would say maybe roughly to say, I don't know exactly what age, but I know probably around 18, 19 at the time. 5, 4, 3 years later on, not even 3, because it would have to be, yeah, not even 3, maybe 5, 6 years later on, it started to become irregular. And now this is like high school years, like maybe towards the end of high school years. Like I said, it just started to become irregular. I sensed that it wasn't something good, but I didn't put into too much thinking into it. I would just be like, okay, you know what, since it didn't come this month, it's probably gonna come next month. And sometimes it would skip 2 months and then it would come. Like I said earlier. Now, like I said, didn't really put too much negative thoughts on that. But one thing I knew is when I was going through that, I would test myself. Because the reason why I would test myself is because my mom would always say, you know, you're a female that go through cycles monthly, you lose blood. So you're always going to need to eat foods and get good nutrients in your body, especially iron, to build back. Now, sometimes one of the factors, I'm going to just share one of the factors that can cause irregular periods too, low of iron. So the body, it's not going to release blood if you don't have enough to release, because you know your body needs blood to help the other organs and the other functional you know, things that's going on in your body. It needs it to help those things function good before it says, okay, I'm sufficient enough to be good for the kidneys, the liver, this and that, or etc. You know, I'm sufficient in these areas and I have enough in these areas, so now I could, you know, release through your cycle. The body's not going to do that. So what it's going to do is, sometimes, like I said, sometimes it could be that situation where you're low of iron and it's just irregular because it's not sufficient enough in iron enough to, blood enough to, you know, exit the body. So what it would do is when it doesn't come and you miss it by being irregular, it will store it, you understand, until you have enough, you know, for it to be released. So it will store it to protect you. So sometimes that is a good thing. So don't always think that because your period is not coming and you went to the doctor and you got checked and they said you're fine and still it's irregular. It's just you don't have enough blood and you need to build blood before it could even, you know, release. So it's, the body's just protecting you. Sometimes that could be the case, but sometimes it could be something that you're going through that's even more intense or not so intense in between. But I don't know what could be your situation. But yeah, so my mama always say, yeah, you're a female that lose blood. You need to eat foods that replace it and that has good nutrients, so you know you could be at least not so weak during those times of your monthly cycle, and also because it's good for you, you understand. So I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, she would always say it over and over, and I was like, Mom, I'm fine, Mom, I'm fine. And when I would miss my periods, I wasn't sexually active. I was still young in school and, you know, just doing sports and stuff like that. And that's another thing too. I felt like doing sports, you know, and releasing all those energies, I wasn't taking good nutrients to replace that. So, you know, and then, you know, with school, you're stressing, tests, exams, and then you're doing sports, you want to make sure you do good to stay on the team, you make sure your grades are up to stay on the team. So all these things are stress upon the body, you know, and then not having right nutrients or taking good nutrients. Sometimes I would skip meals like heavy. Sometimes there would be days I would just drink like one thing, eat one little thing, and then that's it for the whole day, which wasn't good. The body's like a car, you know. Once a car doesn't have gas or like oil where it's supposed to have, and this and that, it's gonna break down. It's gonna be like, I don't have what I need to keep going to, you know. So yeah, so she would always say that, and I was just like, whatever, you know, just ignore it. But it's till when I was going longer periods, like not period, like longer months without seeing it. It wasn't just, you know, 1 month and then come back again, and then it's 2 months and then to come back again, and then go back to 1 month and come. It wasn't like that. It started getting intense. Like literally, I would go 7 months without having a period. And mind you, I was not pregnant. I wasn't sexually active. It was just like, I found out that it was low iron, like my mom would say. She didn't know I had low iron. She was just telling me, you know, just make sure you always replace it, and, you know, so you can build blood. It was low of iron, and it was imbalanced hormones, and stress. It wasn't like like financial stress. It was just stress. Like, you know, we as young kids do, you know, teens go through stress, and young adults go through stress. So those were my 3 factors. And so I didn't want to continue like going to like a doctor and getting like what they were prescribing, because sometimes I'm against those type of medications, because of hearing other people that's sick and they're taking these and it's giving side effects. I didn't want my problem to become so big, you know, when taking like, you know, pharmaceutical stuff. So I was like, okay, I did a little bit of research, and I had a good feeling and like good intuition feeling saying that, all right, it's not so big of a problem. You can probably take natural remedies and just start eating clean, because you didn't do it before. And so, you know, observe it, like go through that, like go for it and observe and see if it works. So I said, I won't be taking anything like from the doctors or whatever. I'm not gonna go back, because sometimes when you do go, they're just saying, oh well, it could be this, it could be that, oh well, I can prescribe you this and that. All right, whatever, I know my factors. Let me just let me pray about it and go the natural way around this situation. So I used the natural and the eating clean method, at home remedies method. And y'all, thank you Lord, you know, my period came back, and it came back normal, and like as if I never had issues. It was just my body was stressed. So I just started doing yoga and, you know, exercising more. My body was stressed. So, and you know, I was making sure I wasn't skipping meals, and throughout my meals in the day, I would make sure they're nutritious to the body, especially for, like, I was doing like research on what nutritious food that a female could eat, you know, that can help balance their hormones, that can help build blood, you know, and I came across really good things, and I started eating these things, taking supplements as well, but natural supplements, and I started doing research on herbs and certain teas, and I, you know, selected those that would help my situation, and I stuck to it and consistently, and it came back without a doctor's prescription, prescription over their drugs and stuff like that. I didn't want it to, you know, cause any other issues, because like I said, I've heard of other people, you know, their situation didn't get better, it got worse because they was taking this and they regret taking this and that because it gave this side effects. I didn't want to go that route, so I want to go the natural route. And I had family members who would always talk about, you know, certain herbs, certain teas. I would just overhear things, you know, and people experience, you know, going towards the natural way out, or natural way is, yeah, going, like I would hear people experience with natural products, herbs, extracts, teas, certain foods that they would eat, and I just gave it a try. And like I said, I was consistent. I stayed, like, I was on top of it. I was exercising, doing yoga. Yoga is a really good thing too. Oh my goodness, so freaking good. Yeah, and it came back. But that was God's, you know, hand upon the situation, and all the wisdom he encouraged within me, and all the courage he clothed me in, you know, to be brave enough to go that route and stick with it. And it came back, yeah. So if you're once, like, this is it. Now, if you are encouraged enough to upon my story, my testimony, and you really want to know the things that I did take, just comment down below once again and let me know that you want another video upon that subject, to give you guys, you know, to share with you guys things that I took that can help your situation if you're going through that, or it can be something worse. Now, don't like just say that, okay, well, I'm gonna go the natural route, and you might have a situation that's intense and you do need a doctor's help, and you do need the pharmaceutical prescriptions and all that stuff. But if you do go the natural route and you are on drugs that they give you, always make sure you check with your doctor if it's okay as well. If you know, if you're on some certain natural stuff that you want to take, and herbs and stuff like that, always check with them first if you are under their supervision over a situation that you have upon this subject, irregular periods, or it can be something even more intense. I don't know. But yeah, that's my experience, my testimony of how I overcame irregular periods. It worked. So yeah. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, all that good stuff, and stay tuned. Be beautiful, be great, be loyal, stay golden, because faith works, not mysteriously but miraculously.